Alright, hello everyone. How do you like my natural hair when I don't actually wet it down or brush it down? This is actually what it looks like most of the day. A little out of control, I know, because there's longer hair and puffy, but hello and welcome to the Week in Preview. I'm Darkside Phil, and today is Sunday, October 26, 2014. Welcome everyone, whether you're watching on Twitch TV Live or on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Wow, well, we basically are about to hit Gaming Overdrive. I actually posted this on my website this week. And I said, I would like to know how people would like to see me tackle the new content coming up starting this week. Because pretty much starting this week, every single week, we've got new release after new release. We've got tons of new releases coming. There's going to be weeks coming up in the next few weeks where there's like 5 games coming out. Rest assured, I will be playing them, but I need to basically spread them out and divvy them out appropriately so that I have enough time to cover them. So I know that these next few weeks are going to be pretty hectic. Thanks for being here on the Week in Preview to find out exactly how I'm going to be covering each and every week coming up, okay? Alright, so, first of all, before we even get started, you just saw the Week in Preview intro, okay? And the Week in Preview intro is an intro that I have used for, I believe at this point, holy shit, the original version before Project 7 was for about a year, and then since Project 7 launched in 2012, then I've used that intro for about 2 years. So you're talking an intro to the Week in Preview that I've pretty much used for 3+ years, and starting in 2015, I am going to be looking for new submissions for intros for almost every show, everything that I do, because at this point, I like to start fresh. I really want 2015 to feel like a year of renewal and a year of rejuvenation rather than just a year of the same old, same old. So, some people have actually asked me over the past several months, gee, Phil, if we have an idea for the Week in Preview intro or for Hate Live intro or for the Hateful Truth, etc., what do we do? Do we just post it up somewhere? Do we email it to you? Well, the answer is, I have forums, thekingofhate.com. It's a dedicated server that I actually pay for to have the freaking website hosted there. I know a lot of people don't even know that. It costs me thousands of dollars a year to maintain this website. And there is a graphics submission area in the site. All you need to do is go to the forums. Right under there, there's a DSP Gaming content. You click on that, and then there's a graphics submission area, and you can make a thread there and say, oh, here's a Week in Preview, submission or whatever. Please, for the next, I know that it's going to be a busy kind of couple of months for everyone with the holidays coming up, but if you could submit some stuff for next year so that we don't have to watch the same intro again for a 4th year, that would be nice, okay? Alright, so, that being said, now let's get to the heart of the matter. Let's talk about what I've been up to this past week, and let's talk about the great new content coming this week, because there's a bunch, alright? So first of all, this past week was a slow week for me, and the reason it was slow was because recently I've skipped a few releases that I normally would have covered, because I just didn't feel like it. The games weren't really catching on with me, and it just wasn't in the mood. Being that it was October, I was really more in a horror month kind of mood. I wanted to really play horror games. And so what I decided to do this past week was, instead of going to, play this game, play that game you never heard of, do this and that, I said, I'm going to play games that are horror-themed games that I always wanted to play but never got the chance to. So I actually played The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and that completed last Monday night. I played Resident Evil 3, and then I also started Parasite Eve. Now the good news is I did complete Resident Evil 3. That playthrough is done and live on DSP Gaming. Parasite Eve, unfortunately, didn't work out so well, and the reason it didn't work out so well is because I got sick one day. I woke up and I felt really sick to my stomach, and I decided that I was just going to sleep in to try to feel better. And I did, and incidentally, I was able to put out a great Hate Live podcast this past week with all kinds of Halloween reminiscent stories that you're going to want to check out. But I didn't get to play Parasite Eve as much as I wanted. I basically only played it about maybe 4 to 5 hours total. And people told me, you're about maybe halfway through the game, maybe even a little bit more than that, but it's going to take at least 1 to 2 more streams to beat it. Well, I never got to play it again, because I've been busy playing Bayonetta 2, which came out on Friday. Now, by complete chance, I didn't know I was going to be able to do this. I beat Bayonetta 2 within 3 sessions. That's right, I played it all day on Friday, I played it Saturday, and I played it today, and I beat it today. So the whole playthrough of Bayonetta 2 is live on DSP Gaming right now, and I want to forewarn everyone. Warning, big freaking warning, alright? Unfortunately, the Bayonetta 2 playthrough, especially during periods where there's a ton of things going on with the graphics at once, alright? The playthrough is pixelated. If you're in a huge action scene and there's 400 enemies and the background's going nuts, the combat gets pixelated. And the reason for that is basically for two reasons. Number one, because I broadcast at 1080p and 60 frames per second, which is higher grade than 99% of the streamers out there. And a lot of people like it. They say, wow, if I watch this on source quality, it looks great. But for everyone else who can't watch source quality because they don't have good enough internet, they're like, it's a little bit choppy. In this case, this was one of the playthroughs where, unfortunately, the footage suffered because I'm doing it at a higher grade than anyone else, and the capture device that I used, there was so much going on the screen at once, it was kind of having trouble keeping track of it, okay? So I think what's going to end up happening is in the future, as we look at future games coming forward, if there's a game that runs at 1080p and 60 frames per second, and there's a lot of action, I might have to, before the playthrough starts, ask, gee, should I do it at that and chance the fact that there's pixelization, or should I only do 720p and 60 frames per second? Or maybe I should just forego the 60 frames per second and do 1080p 30 frames per second, since YouTube doesn't even show the 60 frames, but then the stream unfortunately won't look as good. I think in the future I'm going to have these kind of dilemmas and decisions, because I tried to do the absolute best I could for you guys, and unfortunately there are lots of times during that playthrough when the video chops up pixelated, and there's nothing I could do about it. It's just, it's a fact. I don't have, you know, a $7,000 graphic computer hooked into another $2,000 broadcasting and streaming computer, and I'm using an external USB 3.0 capture device, not some professional $2,000 internal capture card that some professional studio uses. You know what I mean? I'm using commercial grade stuff for the line level person. I'm not using this insano stuff that will basically allow me to do whatever I want. And so, in most playthroughs, it's not a problem. I just played Evil Within. I just played Alien Isolation. I just played Shadows of Mordor. And in all those games, I did 1080p, 60 frames per second, and no problems with pixelization. Only in Bayonetta did we have this problem. Okay? So, I'm seriously going to start thinking about what I want to do in the future, especially for these action-based games. This week may even be one of those weeks, and I'll explain why in a moment when I tell you what new games are coming out this week. So regardless of all that, the playthrough of Bayonetta 2 is now complete. I didn't expect to beat the game today. I actually thought it was going to spill over till tomorrow. So the good news is that tomorrow's cleared up, and I'm about to tell you what to expect. But, just so you guys know, right now I'm doing the week in preview. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, immediately following me streaming this. And when I'm done with that, that's it for today. There's no more content because today, Leanna and I are actually going to carve a pumpkin. We're going to make a jack-o'-lantern, which is something that I have not done since I was a teenager. And we're actually going to film several parts of it. And I'll probably edit it together as like a video showing the transition of the different steps that we're doing with this pumpkin, and that's going to be a vlog that's going to go live this week on the King of Hate Vlogs in honor of Halloween, okay? That'll be a nice special video for you guys. Tomorrow, we now have a completely clear schedule tomorrow, and the first thing I looked at, I was like, oh wow, well if my Monday is free, let me see, is there a midnight release so that maybe I can get the games from Tuesday, Monday night, maybe I won't do a second stream, and instead I'll sleep then, get a nap, and then I'll come at midnight and I'll do midnight release. And I found out GameStop is not doing a midnight release for the 2 game releases this week. I looked into it, I called, and they said, no, we're not doing it. So unfortunately, I'm stuck waiting till Tuesday morning to pick up the new releases, and that's when we're going to begin the new games. So what that does mean is that Monday is completely free, and I've decided that the first stream that I'm going to do on Monday is going to be Parasite Eve. That's right, the survival horror game that I played this past week. Unfortunately, I didn't have the stream that I wanted to do on Thursday because I was feeling under the weather. We're going to have a full 3 to 4 hour stream of Parasite Eve first on Monday. So if you've been watching that playthrough and liking it, and it's been on hiatus now for a while, and you're like, crap, when's he going to get back to it? Will he ever? There's your answer. It's coming tomorrow, okay? Now, there's no guarantee that I'm going to beat it during those 3 to 4 hours. Know that this is a game that, since I'm going to be so far into it, will be one of the games that as soon as I have some downtime, I'm going to be playing. And incidentally, next week, we may have some downtime, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Tomorrow there will be no second stream. Okay, I want to repeat that. No second stream on Monday, because what I'm going to be doing during that time frame that I normally would be doing that, I'm going to film the Hateful Truth review of Bayonetta 2, and I'm going to upload that to my YouTube channel, The King of Hate Vlogs. So, for those of you who maybe watched some of the playthrough, you're wondering, gee, could this be better or as good as Bayonetta 1 from 4.5 years ago, because there's been such a gap between titles? That review will be going live Monday night, and that will give me some ample opportunity to rest up and be ready for Tuesday, because Tuesday is going to be Overdrive with 2 new games, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I did say Overdrive for a reason, because one of the new games is the Xbox One exclusive Sunset Overdrive. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I just mentioned in my Bayonetta 2 playthrough I had problems with pixelization. What I'm debating doing, and this is going to be based off your feedback, should I play Sunset Overdrive 1080p 60 frames per second on stream? Should I do it 720p 60 frames per second on stream to try to avoid pixelization? Or the flip side of it, should I play at 1080p and only 30 frames per second? The answer is I don't know what frame rate the game runs at. Bayonetta absolutely ran at 60 frames, and watching it at 30 frames, you're actually not watching the best version of those videos. So I have to debate, what do I want to do for this game? People were actually saying to me, Phil, are you aware that how fast-paced and moving this game is going to be this week? And I was like, no, I actually don't know that much about Sunset Overdrive. So, please let me know, based off of your own personal experience with this game, if you've seen previews of it or whatever, let me know if you think that I should, play it on one or the other, or should I just go all out and do 1080p 60 frames per second, the highest quality, and then unfortunately there may be some pixelization. There may be none, but there may be some. Let me know what you think, okay? So, that's one of the games that I'm actually debating. Doing that, downgrading the quality of the video so that it doesn't get all blurry on everyone, alright? So Sunset Overdrive comes out on Tuesday, and so does Lords of the Fallen, the now current-gen exclusive game. It's not coming out on the older consoles anymore, only for PS4 and Xbox One, that everyone is saying it's basically another Dark Souls with a few twists and a few adjustments. And, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I like Dark Souls, right? Look at Dark Souls 2, how well I did in it. I had a few foibles, but for the most part, I really enjoyed that game and that playthrough, and I think I would really like to play another one like Lords of the Fallen. So the question is, what will people want to see first? And I don't know what the answer to that is. Do people want to see Sunset Overdrive on my first stream on Tuesday in a 4-hour chunk, or would you rather see Lords of the Fallen, and then what do you want to see on second stream? Now, the good news is, however we do it on Monday, we'll probably flip it on Tuesday, however we do it on Tuesday, we'll probably flip it by Wednesday, so that way you have 2 days where you get the same amount of content of both games, okay? This Thursday, we're actually going to be doing Hate Live again. That's right, I'm very interested in talking about a lot of things that are going on in gaming news. I'll tell you about my opinions, initial opinions on those 2 games that I played, and I'm not sure yet what the back in the day segment is going to be this week for Hate Live. I have to think about it a little bit, and if anyone has any ideas of things you'd like to ask me or whatever, you absolutely can. Anytime you give me a suggestion, usually I find a way to twist it or at least put it into a good story for Hate Live, and I think you guys would really enjoy having a good segment of Hate Live based off of a suggestion. So anyone has any ideas, let me know. I did Halloween last week, okay, so that's out. But I am going to do Hate Live Thursday, which means there'll only be 1 gameplay stream on Thursday. But then on Friday, I'll be returning with the 2 streams again. In addition to that, keep in mind the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway is going to continue this Friday. I want to remind everyone to enter, because this week we've got a prize that's basically worth about $100, even more, depending on how much you like Dead Space. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the video for the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway, Week 4, which has been live since Friday. It's a really good one this week. And then, of course, this weekend, only 1 gameplay stream Saturday and Sunday. It's probably going to be whatever's left over that I haven't done with those games. So, 2 new games this week. Hate Live returns this week. More Parasite Eve this week. The review of Bayonetta 2 this week. And if, let's say by the end of the week, I've beaten one of the games, or I'm just tired of one of the games, or whatever, then we'll probably finish off Parasite Eve, okay? I want to remind everyone, I've got other games on the back burner, like Tales of Exilia 2, that have been sitting around since August, that I haven't touched, that I would love to play the final few streams that it'll take to beat those games. And that's probably something that I'm going to be doing relatively soon, because come next week, all we got is Call of Duty. That's it. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. No other game wants to touch Call of Duty. They've all given Call of Duty a huge breadth of room that week, and no other games are coming out that week because no one wants to fuck with them. They know that they're going to win the sales that week no matter what. And so maybe that's a perfect week. I'll play Call of Duty. One day I'll do the campaign and multiplayer. One day I'll do the campaign and some of the survival mode with my friends Nestor and Howard, who are actually interested in doing it. Maybe one day I'll do some Call of Duty, but then I'll balance that with Tales of Exilia 2. That's the kind of thing I'll be doing next week. But now I'm getting ahead of myself. I just wanted to give you guys a preview of what exactly to expect, okay? So, that's pretty much it. This week is going to be 2 new games, Parasite Eve, a review, Hate Live, a lot of stuff coming up. I hope that you guys will tune in for the content. Keep in mind, right around the corner, we've got tons of new releases coming as well. So even if the 2 games in particular this week you're not too interested in, right around the corner, we're going to have more and more new games coming out that you will probably be interested in. So don't, oh, that's it, I'm gone, I'll see you still next year, maybe. No, so much stuff. We're on the brink, the precipice of a massive amount of releases that I'm interested in, and I hope that you're interested in, and I hope that you'll at least give me a look. If it's not this week, it's in the future, but for the most part, I think this week's going to be a fun one, right? Will the Xbox One exclusive finally deliver? Will Lords of the Fallen be as good as, if not better, than Demon or Dark Souls, or will it fall flat on its face? I think everyone wants to see, and we're going to find out, okay? All right, everyone, that is it for the weekend preview. I thank you very much for being here, whether you watch live on Twitch TV or you're watching on YouTube right now. Keep in mind, no other gameplay footage or streaming tonight, but tomorrow we come back with Parasite Eve strong, all right? Thanks, everyone. Have a good night, and I will see you later this week for new gameplay. Peace out.